on the line right now, Boba Fett himself, Mr. Jeremy Bulloch. Now, have you ever put the costume on since the films? You ever got back into it?
I have worn a replica costume a couple of times, really to raise money for charity, and that was great fun. But I suddenly remembered how awkward it was and uncomfortable to wear the costume. But, as a brave soul, I went ahead and did the publicity and started talking like Boba Fett again. So,
did you actually do the voice in the movie? I'm trying to remember.
No, what happened was they did all the voice stuff because I hardly spoke. This is what's so funny. It's still the smallest part I've ever played in 54 years as an actor. Mm-hmm. And, you suddenly think, amazing, you get this role and you don't speak, yet you have more attention from the public than anything I've done before.
Wow. Now, when you saw the costume for the first time, what did it feel like for you? Because I think that's what really drew people to this character, because he really, I guess he's kind of a little bit of a badass. He's the bounty hunter.
He is a badass, but he's fair-minded. He would actually, if I came up to you dressed in a costume and pretended I was Boba Fett, at least I'd say turn around. At least I'd say hello before I shoot you. I mean, he'd be polite. He's that sort of bounty hunter.
Now you you appeared again in episode 3, and you have your face on screen this time. Now, is that kind of a deal you worked out? Did George Lucas call you up, kind of like a cool little, like an Easter egg or a cameo for the fans?
I know what you mean. In a way, it was, look, there's no one here on set, Jeremy. They've all, we need someone to get into this Imperial officer's outfit. Quick, go and get changed. I said, and I was standing in the Boba Fett outfit, not knowing what I was doing. Dashed into the dressing room, got dressed when I found the right size costume of this Imperial officer, which they gave a name to, Lieutenant Shekel. Mm-hmm. So that was fun. And then, of course, in Revenge of the Sith, the very final film so far, I played Captain Colton, another part. Mm-hmm. And they said, would you like to it was very small. It was a cameo, but it was nice to go back. And it was shot in England, but it was very brief. But it was saying, that was lovely. I think several actors did another part, just walking past or doing something. So it was like a real family tree.
Kind of cool. Did you find fans, did they recognize you right away when they saw you in episode 3? Or I guess a lot of people probably didn't really know what you look like.
No, actually a lot of people, let's say today I was at an event. Mm-hmm. There was one person who loves the films and grew up with all the films, would suddenly say, well, you played that? Was that you? Because they don't, they're looking for one particular character in the scene, and it's going to be Boba Fett, maybe. But then suddenly there's a scene, there's plenty of Imperial officers, and majority of people don't know it's me. They just watch the scene and go, oh, that was all right, let's move on to that. Oh, this is another scene here. But they don't think that I portrayed this Imperial officer at all.
Now, see, that for some people, that's actually a draw where they can maybe do a role like that, or maybe a voice acting role, so they can somewhat live a normal life, out, and you're not getting recognized all the time, like, opposed to having your face.
It's funny. No, actually, no one does recognize me, apart from either fellow actors or just the one person that will, under his arm, may have a satchel full of different photographs of you going way back when I was 12.
Wow.
If you're in the theatre, that's the one where you come out of the stage door at the end of the play and you're ringing applause in your ears and a great feeling, I'm in the theatre. Mm. And then suddenly there's 40 people outside the door. Could you sign this? And as usual, it's pouring with rain. You're not allowed to come into the back stage at all. It's pouring with rain and you're signing stuff and it's smeared all over the program, but they don't care. They say, thank you so much, Mr. Bulloch. It's an absolute pleasure, wonderful. But they'll get home and see that the rain has just wrecked the photograph. And I never understand that. They, instead of saying, thank you, we saw the play today, but we thought we'd come up, you've signed stuff before. And I said, yeah, I have, But you would have thought with that bad weather, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't come back around and then have those photographs ruined.
It must be really flattering, I guess, to be a part of this universe where these fans are so dedicated and so passionate about what they love.
No, it is. It's very nice, and I think I'm very lucky. I don't get people don't come pushing through. I mean, could you say they don't do that? They're very polite, and if someone's polite, then you will obviously sign that program or photo or something. And some of the fans come out with something I've never seen before. That's a play I did years ago when I was about 18. I said, "Good God!" And I said to him, "I said, that's amazing. Can you get me a photograph of this?" And he did. He just found a copy, but it was a play I did many, many years ago about the English Army. And it was fantastic. I'd never know where to find it. And he just said, "No, this is with me." So we just swapped photographs. That was it.
Yeah, somebody once said that the fans, I think, know more about what you've done than what you've done, than you yourself,
You're absolutely right. They do. They'll remind you very quickly when you say. I remember it was very funny. It was a very funny scene where I had to climb the ladder and stretch out. No, you didn't. Comes this voice. No, you didn't. Do you remember you had to go back and then turn? I mean, they've got it all down, the particular funny scene, but they've got it absolutely. You daren't make a mistake with them because they'll correct you, which is quite right.
So do you find having that, a fan base with all that knowledge that they hold, do you have to be on your toes a little more with what the work that you've done? Like, do you have to buff up before you go into an event like this?
No, you're right. Buff up is the right word. You just have to be. You do a lovely thing where someone asks you a question and you go, "Oh God, I don't know this." So you cough and go, "Oh, sorry, I'm terribly sorry." Cough, "Oh dear. Oh gosh, it's cold out here," and you're racking your brain. Then suddenly, yes, I remember that a long time ago. I was doing and then got into the yacht, and it goes off onto the rocks. I remember that so well. Oh, you do? That's amazing. Well, of course, he's given me the time to think. And the fans are terrific. I'm very lucky that they're not. Most fans are really good. 99% are really good, and they just join in and they say thank you very much, and they don't start talking to you, all day long, all night long. They don't. They're eager to hear what you're doing and how's the family. That's great, Mr. Bulloch. Thank you very much for your time, and they move away. And that's what's so nice, when people are polite. That's a favorite word of mine, polite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you're coming to Canada, so this is the homeland of the polite fan.
Of nice people. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, I think you could also invest in like the news anchors wear like a little earpiece. Maybe you could have somebody off stage looking stuff up on the internet, and they could be feeding. They could be feeding you the information in case you ever are stuck.
Yeah, that's great, and have it on an iPad, with big letters for my eyes, so that it's flashing. When you see the flashing, you know the answer. Now that would be good. I think I'll start on that straight away tomorrow.
No need to cough anymore after that. Now, how about was it for you? I should ask before we go about seeing the origin of your character in the prequel movies to Star Wars. Now, is that, I know when you played the character in the earlier movies, you probably imagine like a backstory and an origin or where they come from and getting the character's mind. So seeing that on the screen, what did you think of it?
Well, I think it's nice that there's I've been questioned about this before, and they say, well, what do you think? You've got this, you've got the young family, they're clones. But beforehand, when we were first filming Empire Strikes Back, there was no talk of clone. There was human. So there's bits and pieces that you, obviously, as an actor, you think would have been nice to have done a little bit more. I don't think that would happen. But that's all only in your mind. It was great, to see the young lad Daniel, who's the young Boba Fett, but we're a different race. He's New Zealander and I'm Scottish, so it's a good mixture. That it's funny because a lot of people sort of say, well, are you, they're wonderful, are you going to be in the new films? Are you going to be, what's happening in episode 7? I said, I really don't know. I'm like you, I'm really looking forward to see what they're going to do, and I shall hopefully take some of the grandchildren, and they'll think that I'm going to be in the new, but you're not, because Boba Fett is in the Sarlacc pit and he's being chewed up, so that's the end of him. But I as an actor and enjoy films, I shall be looking forward to watching episode 7.
But you never know how you say, like, they could, timelines can change in movies. They could start the movie out, and the next one they could do a flashback, and all of a sudden it's back. Maybe when Boba Fett first came in contact with these people, or you never know. Like, possibilities are endless.
My dream piece would be, during the film, suddenly you may be in the cantina bar, and there's Boba Fett's just standing, leaning right in the corner, and one of the main protagonists will step forward, and Boba Fett just goes backwards into the shadows, and that's all he does. Now that would be nice. Just being quite cool, but there's a presence there, and it might be, my goodness me, he escaped.
Yeah.
Just a little tiny scene, hardly no dialogue. That would be fine.
That'd be a really cool, like the credits could roll, and then they could come back. They could come back with that, like, after the credits, like they do with a lot of movies now, like a little teaser, a little more of what's to come.
Oh yes, yeah, that's love. I love all that. It's just, but I just consider myself very lucky to be part of it. I mean, it's gone on for over 30 years, and you think, has it really gone on this long? But, I've got lots of friends who were in it, fellow actors. We were all, some of us at drama school, and some of them playing Imperial officers, some even playing Stormtrooper. But, it was like a family, all of us getting together, and at the end of the week, a really heavy week, we'd all go and have a pint of beer and say, well, that was fun, wasn't it? I've got another week on the film. Oh, have you? Cool. You're lucky. I've only got 2 days. And there's all that lovely chat between fellow actors.
Wow. You've done a lot, and you have an impressive resume, being a part of Star Wars and, James Bond films and everything. Like,
yeah, it seemed at the right time, at the age I was, around 26, 27, the different things came up. I was in the West End in a theatre play, which got me a television series, and that, again, that was lucky. You happened to have people coming in to see the play, not necessarily me, but they would come in and go, what a good play, and who's the guy? Oh, yes, Jeremy Bulloch, yes. So it was nice that they'd come to the stage door and just say, all they said was, very enjoyable play, thank you very much indeed. And then from that, I got this comedy series.
Wow.
And that was just purely a director watching me do the stage play. And sometimes it works out really well that you go from one play to another, to a television, one after another. And it's amazing. You complain to yourself, I'm exhausted, I can't do this all the time. But when I finished finally after 3 months, the television and the play, it was wonderful. My wife and I went away, but I was so happy with what I'd done. And you thought, oh, wonderful, now we can go on holiday, terrific. That's nice. It's a nice feeling.
It must be weird, like, seeing the characters you played everywhere, and these franchises that still continue to grow to this day. Like, they're still making James Bond movies, and they're still making Star Wars movies. And
yeah, I know, it's lovely. I mean, when I did the Bond films, there were 3, working with Roger Moore was the most delightful time, because he never stopped giggling, and he'd make us laugh. And he was very relaxed, and just, he just made everyone feel, he'd sort of say things, oh, you're here again. Are they still employing you? Oh, my goodness, we can't have this. And he would be joking around all the time. And that's what's so nice, that you do your work, you work very hard, but when you have that break, you can have a good laugh and a giggle. That's a nice feeling as well. But I've had a lovely career, and I feel very lucky that I'm still doing it.
All right, Jeremy, thank you so much. It's been an honor speaking with you. You were actually my favorite character, of course, in Star Wars. So,
well, of course.
Of course. There's no doubt. There's no doubt about it, right?
Of course, I would have been over in Canada overnight saying, "What did you say?" It's a giggling. No, but thank you very much, and I hope to see you very soon.